If you've ever wondered what internet speed you really need to work from home, you are not alone. And honestly, this question sounds simple until you start dealing with real life. Because the truth is, remote work does not just depend on one big flashy download number. It depends on what kind of work you do, how often you're on camera, how many people share your connection, and whether your upload speed is secretly betraying you. A lot of people assume that if they have fast internet, they're covered. But then the weird stuff starts. Zoom freezes. Google Meet gets choppy. A file upload drags forever. Somebody in the house turns on Netflix, and suddenly your work call starts sounding cursed. That's when you realize the ad for your internet plan and your actual workday are not the same thing. So here's the practical answer. If you live alone and mostly do email, chat, cloud docs, and occasional meetings, you can often survive on around 25 megabits per second download and 5 upload. That's more of a minimum than a comfort zone, though. For most remote workers, a much better target is 100 download and 20 upload. That lines up pretty well with the FCC's current broadband benchmark, and it gives you more room for HD calls, background syncing, browser tabs, and normal household chaos. Zoom, Google Meet, and Microsoft Teams all show that video meetings can need several megabits per second, especially on the upload side, which is why that number matters so much more than people think. The upload side is where people get fooled. Internet providers love showing off download speed because it sounds impressive. But if you work from home, upload speed is what helps other people see and hear you clearly. Google Meet's HD guidance calls for 3.2 megabits per second outbound, and Zoom's HD group video requirements also show that you need solid upload bandwidth if your day involves meetings. So if you've ever had a plan that looked great on paper but still felt bad at work, weak upload speed may have been the actual issue. Zoom, then there's latency. That's basically the delay in your connection, and it matters a lot more than people think. Google's guidance for HD Meet performance says latency should stay under 50 milliseconds. So even if your speed test looks decent, high latency can still make conversations feel awkward, delayed, or glitchy. That's one of those annoying tech problems that makes you feel crazy because your internet is fast, but your calls still feel weird. Google Help. You also have to think about what else is happening in the house. Netflix says 1080p streaming needs 5 megabits per second, and 4K needs 15. So if you're in a meeting while someone else is streaming, gaming, or backing up files, your connection may not have enough headroom. That's why 120 feels like a much more realistic modern target for a lot of work-from-home households than just trying to scrape by on the minimum. Netflix Help. The good news is you do not need to guess. Run a speed test on fast.com, check the broadband label for your plan, test from your actual desk, and test during the hours you really work. Not next to the router. Not at a random quiet time. Test where your laptop actually lives and when the house is actually busy. That will tell you way more than the internet plan ad ever will. Fast. So the final answer is this. If your work is light, 25.5 may be enough. If your job is typical remote work, 120 is a strong target. If you do constant meetings, big uploads, or share your internet with a bunch of other people, more speed, more upload, and more stability are absolutely worth it. Because at the end of the day, the best work-from-home internet plan is not the one with the biggest number. It's the one that lets you do your job without thinking about your internet every 10 minutes.